I mean, this is the thing that's so poisonous. It's the, and again, unfortunately, I encounter this more on the left than elsewhere. There's everyone on the left at the moment seems to be a mind reader, right? What they're trying to detect in you evidence of a view, which you claim you don't hold. But the moment they can string together anything you've said that seems to line up with something they want to find in you, they will hold you accountable to that misunderstanding. And no matter how much you try to take their foot out of your mouth, the mere effort itself is going to be counted against you. You're just someone who's in denial, or you don't really understand how racist you are, or and it's a. I mean, so for instance, yeah, it's a classic example on Twitter. I often see that whenever I say something critical about Islam, I will get back, why don't you ever criticize Christianity or Judaism, which obviously I do.
My book.
But now I recently said something very disparaging about Orthodox Judaism, and I saw on Twitter people claiming that I was just covering for my racism with respect to Islam, so that made sense. And this was just a token way of this is just a misdirection, right? I don't really feel this about Orthodox Judaism. Right. So there is no way to dig out from this.
Right. I mean, really think how perverse that is.
And they're all mind readers, right? They're all psychics who are plumbing the depths of your they're detecting things in you that you don't even know about yourself.
Yeah. Do you wish your mind was that deep?
Well, I mean, I wish that. What's amazing to me is, I mean, this is such a confused moral position because they're claiming I'm saying all these horrendous things, right? I say we should racially profile. I say we should nuke the Muslim world.
Oh, great! Now they're going to selectively edit that.
I say we should torture people. Right. These are my claims, and then when I say no, this is not actually what I said. I mean, I say incredibly controversial things. If you actually honestly engage with what I'm saying, these are I take controversial positions. I'm never hiding what I actually believe, right? It's just like I'm walking right up to the line. Like I'm going to say, though it is politically impossible, I want to talk about the ethics of torture publicly now. I mean, this is a thankless job if there ever was one, right? And yet they're claiming to detect in me commitments that I'm disavowing, and there's just no way you can disavow them once they insist they're there.
Right. So you want to have the battle of ideas, which is exactly what liberalism should be for, and they don't seem to want to do that. So I just want to wrap this up with one final question. This portion of it. So just putting it flat out there, I have tweeted at Cenk publicly and respectfully several times since I've left the network to engage him on this, and I've sort of laid out some things and showed some evidence of this or that, and he's just ignored me. So I just think I just have to say that, and everyone can think what they want. But my final question on this is, what do you think we should do about these people? Do you think that your engagement at this point, when you've seen someone lie repeatedly, misrepresent your views, all of those things, when you've seen this happen repeatedly, and then I started seeing it bleed into other things, do you keep engaging, or at some point, do you just put your hands up? And I'm guessing you struggle with this yourself, because you were sort of ready to put your hands up, and then you got sucked back in. But where do you stand on that now?
I wish I had an algorithm for how to deal with this, because it's very haphazard. On my side, it's just, sometimes I'll just see a tweet that I just can't let go, and then I'll go for weeks or months, or in some cases even years, not dealing with this directly. But I think insofar as someone has a big platform, you have to deal with it somewhat, some of the time, because I see the consequences of their successfully misleading people. And so either the people who I will never mention and never deal with because they're kind of smaller fish in this murky pond, but it's someone like Reza Aslan. He is a kind of a public figure now, and he's a darling of a certain segment of the media, and so what he says actually matters, because it is, he's promulgating genuine falsehoods about the connection between religious ideas and very dangerous behavior, and he does it with a apparently clear conscience, and I think he knows enough to know that he's actually lying. So I view him as a truly bad actor. And yeah, but it's incredibly boring to keep poking fun at him or to keep pushing back against what he says.
And then ultimately you're just getting them clicks and in some cases actual money too.
Yeah.
So it's sort of, I guess there is no answer yet, but maybe.
Yeah. So I mean, I'll just do it, you know, I do it when I can't do otherwise, but then I move on to other things.
I want to get back into some of the religious stuff. So I think partly what a lot of your detractors would say is that you have this focus on Islam that you don't have. Now, you've already illustrated and you've written a book about Christianity, the whole first half of End of Faith. You're talking about the Crusades, all this kind of stuff. As you said just a moment ago, you've said all kinds of things about the Orthodox Jews. So I think we get a sense that it's not just that. But they're not all the same. I think that a lot of the progressives, a lot of these people on the left, they believe in this idea that everything is equal. That there's just this sort of base equality. Except the fact is, by definition, these things are different. If I was to right now draw the Jewish God of Yahweh or Moses or something, and then draw Jesus in a weird sex act, and then draw Muhammad, and I'm talking stick figures, I'm not a good artist, only one of those would cause a threat to my life. So these things are not equal, right? I know they like that proposition, but it's a faulty proposition, right?
Yeah, oh no. This is probably brought out in the most elegant way by that Onion cartoon. I don't know if you saw that. The title was "No One Was Murdered Over This Cartoon," and it's it's just a Buddha sticking his arm up the ass of Ganesh and blowing Jesus. I mean, it's like everyone but Muhammad is in there.
Yeah.
And but the point is made perfectly. It's just like you can do that, and yet you cannot draw a stick figure of Muhammad without having your life deranged thereafter by conversations with the FBI about how to keep you and your family safe. Right. That's the reality of the world we're living in.